Good day, Brian Terrian from the Disability Digest, and welcome to this week's Disability Q&A session where we've collected some questions from our members and audience, and I am going to do my very best to answer them. So, regardless if you're a member here, thank you for being a member, or you're just checking us out for the first time. We hope you enjoy the information that I'm going to present. So, what we're going to cover today is, am I subject to a review? We have questions about that. Ticket to Work, information about the Ticket to Work program from Social Security. How you can use a free online tool from Social Security to find out your check amount and track your case activity if you're going through the application process. A spend down question. We don't get many of those. And tips to keep your benefits once you're approved for your disability benefits. And the last item I'm going to cover today is disability coverage or dental coverage for those that are either approved for their Social Security disability benefits or going through the process. What do you do for that? Okay, so let's get started. First question is from Angie. If I get 50% of my mother's retirement check, do I still have to take an exam? What I believe she's referring to is Gary and Cheryl. Hello and welcome. Maris, welcome. So if you're receiving Social Security disability benefits, you are likely subject to a review. And that review is going to be stipulated by the terms of Social Security, whether you get a review at all, or whether it's at 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year, and it will be in your award letter. So I don't know the answer for this particular question, and the answer would lie in the award letter. So you might be subject to it. And even if it says that you are, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a review. Statistically, according to Social Security now, about 10% of the disability recipients are getting reviewed on an annual basis. And if you do get reviewed, don't freak out. It's part of a normal process. I mean, there's people that get reviewed that shouldn't get reviewed. Maybe there's some that get reviewed that have been flagged. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next section, or one of the sections I'm going to cover about how to keep your benefits. Ruby would like to know what I can do with the Ticket to Work program. So the Ticket to Work program is a program designed for those that are receiving Social Security disability benefits to get back into the workforce with some assistance. It's really geared towards those that are going to go from 0 to 100 and work full-time. So there are Ticket to Work support vendors, they call them employment networks, that you can team up with an employment network and get resources to get back into the workforce or to have a job and keep a job. And that might be counseling, it might be resources that you need, it could just be cash. Like we have an interview that was on our YouTube channel a couple weeks ago from one of our members that just simply gets, I think he's getting $270 a month, yeah, somewhere around there, just cash, because he had a job. He found an employment network that would just pay him cash to basically keep the job. A little bit more to it than that. He needs to do some reporting, but from what I understand, it's easy money. So that's the short story and what you can expect from that. I think the real question to ask is, are you in a position to test going back to work full-time? If you are, then that certainly would be something to look into. You can start by going to your local voc rehab and find out what employment networks are available in your area. If you don't feel that you can work full-time, I am a firm believer, just based on my experience of doing this for years, that the realistic possibilities of doing something less than full-time, improving yourself in that area is a great confidence builder before you try to build up to a full-time job. So something to consider. There is not a ticket to work program for people that are going to do something part-time. Maybe vocational rehabilitation services, but not the full-blown ticket to work. So hope that helps. A lot of questions this week about how do I find it? What's the best way, easiest way to find out what's going on with my disability case through the approval process? I don't hear from Social Security. I don't hear from anybody. All those questions about how to track your case process. And there's I expect if I talk to 10 people that are going through the disability approval process or just starting it, there might be 9 of them that don't know what their disability check amount is. So where I'm going with this is Social Security has, in my opinion, a really good tool in an online account that you can log into, and if you haven't applied for disability, you can see your disability check amount at full retirement. You can see what it would be at age 62, and then your Social Security disability check amount, which is typically the same amount as your full retirement amount. That's for most at 66 and a half now. So you just log in, go to estimated benefits, and find it out. Now, if you're going through the disability approval process and you don't know your check amount, when you log in, you're not going to be able to see your check amount because it's showing you going through the approval process. Why they block that out, I have no idea. So you would need to call Social Security to get your check amount or go to a local office. And I suggest that you do that at an off-peak time, which is usually like Thursday, Friday, late in the day, or if you call first thing in the morning. And keep in mind some of these Social Security offices are closed Wednesday at noon. So if you need to find out your check and you're going through the approval process, that's how to do it. Now, that being said, be careful about your password for this account, because if you lose it, it's difficult to get back in. Like, I must confess, I have been locked out of mine. I don't know if this is a confession, but it's facts. I've been locked out of my account for about 18 months. I lost the password. I didn't put it where I thought it was, and I tried to get back in, and I tried something else a bunch of times. Then they said they would mail you a new password, which they did, but when I went to use that, it didn't work. So just a word of caution, if you're messing around with your account or need to use it, keep your password in a super safe place. Okay? All right, Heidi has a spend down question. Sounds like a good problem to have. I received a large settlement. I have a spend down question. There's some items I needed during treatment for injuries. Must I only count treatment items in the expenses in the month in which I use them? I'm trying to avoid a lapse in Medicaid. I don't know the answer to this. Really, I don't, because I'm not a financial guy. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. But here's some things to consider that you can factor into the decision process. With Medicaid, it is based on available resources. So if you received a lump sum in your bank account, I'll say it's $20,000. And that $20,000 is all in your bank account for 1 month. It's going to impact your ability to receive assistance different than it would be if that $20,000 was in your account for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. Because for Medicare, Medicaid, it's based on your resources that are available. Like, there are some people that work or have spouses that work, and there's an offset. There continues to be a fluctuation in the amount of resources that are available for you. So that's the best advice that I can give you there, but I'd really seek somebody out that, you know, is maybe a financial expert in this area and knows more about your personal situation to give you the best advice, and that's not me. Okay, Yana wants to know how to keep my disability benefits. Here's my top 4 tips that are out there. 1, know the rules. A lot of people get approved for disability and they are in full-on celebration mode. They take the award letter, they put it somewhere, maybe where they can find it again, and they don't pay any attention to it. But you really do need to. You need to understand your award letter and what the rules are that you've been awarded. Because it may be that your award letter, like I mentioned earlier, has no review in it. You're permanently disabled, or you're subject to a review periodically. So I'd first of all know the rules. What's your deal? What's your award? And then if you want to know in advance what the process is for going through a review, then you can contact us here. If you're a member, reply to any of the emails, or if you're participating in one of our support groups, just ask the moderator and we'll get you the information. Of course, if you're not a member, join us and ask. And then we can give you an idea of what it's like. It's basically a submission of paperwork that you need to satisfy their questions in the first part. You don't have to go to court right away or anything like that. So I'm a little off track. So the first thing is know the rules. Second one is for disability, the rules of keeping your benefits are similar, if not the same, to getting your benefits. Is you have conditions, which I expect you still have, and they're being treated by a doctor, and the limitations from those conditions prevent you from either doing, any job or the work that you've done before. So you think about it, if you've stopped going to the doctors, right, after you've gotten approved and you're called on for a review, that's going to put Social Security in a position where they could say, well, geez, if you were going to all your doctors, doing everything you needed to do, then maybe you could work. So just follow your treatment regime and document it and do what you need to do, etc. So the other thing is I encourage people to be the best you that you can be. There are things that you can do outside of your traditional treatment that can help you out. Like with these Medicare Advantage plans, they have access to fitness gym memberships, so you can get Silver Sneakers, that's the name I was looking for. And that gives you access to gyms where there's not suggesting you need to go work out and lift weights, but some people can go there and walk. They can keep their weight and their health and their blood pressure in the best possible shape. Some people with chronic pain use these for water therapy to make them feel better. So that actually can be a factor in helping you keep your benefits if you can exemplify that you're doing what you can do to the best of your ability with the resources that you have. Last tip is just avoid doing anything stupid. Like what some people do is they don't pay attention to how much money you can make and keep your benefits, and they go back to work and they work for a period of time, and then that just causes a lot of problems. Because if you're working a regular job with W-2 income and you're reporting like $15,000 a year, more than what you should be making, it's filed, it goes, IRS talks to Social Security, they know each other, boom, you're going to find yourself in trouble. Those are my 4 tips. Okay, last one today is dental coverage. For those that are on or in need of their disability benefits. This is commonly a question for people that have been approved for disability. So this is from the San Francisco Bay Area, and it says dental had dental through Medicare, but it covers nothing. When I asked dentists for lists, they give you hundreds of dentists, but nobody takes Medicare. So word is that some people get, I'm cutting to the chase here in this one. Word is that some people get up to $21,000 in dental costs approved by Medicare. Yeah, that's an interesting one. But I cannot find a dentist to replace front teeth or broken teeth when I qualify, and I can't eat and I can't chew. So in advance of this, I did a few things. And in the San Francisco Bay Area, which I found interesting, there was only 7 plans that I found in that area, which when I say plans, 7 different options for Medicare Part C, Medicare Advantage plans. So a lot of markets in major metropolitan areas have 20 to 30 different options. It's an abundance, and there's seems to be more and more that are going on. So in this particular area, a Medicare Advantage plan, Part C, has no premium, which is common. They don't cover any of the basic dental services. Whereas in other areas in the United States, like I did a comparison to Jacksonville, Florida. And in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm going to make a point here in a minute. In Jacksonville, Florida, there's, I just brought up 3 plans, a Humana plan, a Aetna plan, 2 Humana plans. So one of them has, you can go for an oral exam, no charge. You can go for a cleaning, no charge. And there's some, you can get some x-rays done for no charge. Whereas there's other plans in that area and in San Francisco where none of that is covered. So a lot of this has to do with where you live. And I'm not suggesting that you move, but in an attempt to service everybody that listens, you really need to pay attention to what is in your plan that you have. If you have just straight Medicare A and B, this wouldn't apply to you. If you have a plan C, then this definitely would apply to you. So first of all, look at what's going on in your area. Medicare Part C plans do not cover hi Terry, hello Robert. They do not cover an extensive amount of dental, the same with vision and hearing. It's just, if anything, it's basic coverage. So what do? Right? Here's a few things. We have members that have spoke with us, we've interviewed, that have negotiated the cost down. So if you can even do it with a general cleaning. If you go in there and they know that you're paying cash, offer the cash price. Usually you can chop, a pretty significant amount off, 40, 30, 40% off. But you don't know until you ask. And if the dentist says, no, I'm not going to deal with you, then just look for other dentists. Say, what would it be like to pay cash, right? So that's step number 1, cash. The next thing is, if you need any significant dental work, I've recently spoke with 2 members that have had major dental work needed, and their message to me is, Brian, anything over $2,500, $3,000 that you need to have done, and you should really look into having it done outside of the country. Might sound crazy, totally outside of people's comfort zones, but it's being done. So I don't know of any reliable vendors because I haven't extensively interviewed these folks, but if you go and do a Google search, you can see that there are dentists that are advertising, and if you look at the price and just do a little comparison on their websites for what you might pay for something, you'll likely find it's about 60% less. So if you have a $3,000 item, right, that could be pretty interesting. So that was a tip. So of course you've got to get there and factor all that in. But I'm sure that if you're down there for a couple of days and you're dealing with that big of an expenditure, a plane ticket and a few days in the sunshine, it's still going to, it's worthy of a consideration. So those are my tips, and we're back here every week, typically, hopefully. So if you have questions, love to help you out. Just put them in the comments down below, or send them in to us so that we can do the best we can to help you out. If you're not a member out there, join us. It's a free membership. We help people get and maximize their disability benefits. And if you're a member and you haven't been around for a while, stay tuned in. It's a lot of changes right now. I've been doing this since 2006, and I can candidly say that this is the best time that I've seen for people to have the ability to pick up extra benefits. And I want to close with this, actually, this one last point, and the reason why. Here's what I see that's going on, and this is relative to this dental piece here, is these private companies like Aetna, United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, they all are in the game of providing Part C plans, Medicare Advantage plans. And what is happening is Medicare pays these companies to manage health care for members that are in these plans. And the profitability from these is, in my understanding, is either going up or it's attractive because they continue to make the plans that they offer more robust. And so if you are in San Francisco, for example, and there are no dental plans or no plans with dental coverage now, you should look back at the beginning of every year, at least once a year, because as new companies come into the market or an existing company wants to attract more business, they add more features. So what we commonly see is somebody might be on a plan from company XYZ and they love it and it's great. But that same company is not going to be competitive in attracting new business to that plan in the marketplace, but they're not going to do anything with the people that are on it. They're going to go out and they're going to create a new plan with new benefits, silver sneakers, there's cash buyback programs, and there's Part B, I meant to say Part B buyback, where they reduce your Part B expenditure, there's shopping credits. So they're doing all of these different things to attract new business to people that they would put on a new plan. So as we get into the annual election period where you can change your plan from the middle of October to December, make sure you check out your options and you at least know what they are, so that you're on the right plan. Too many people get on the plans and they sit on them. They're like, oh, it's fine, it's working. Well, maybe it is, but you could stay with the same company, possibly move over to one of their brand new Cadillac plans and get some extra benefits. So that's my message for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back again soon. This has been Brian Tarian from the Disability Digest. Make it a great day.